Do you see them? The radio crackled in the old Russian forex fire. The driver tried to steer away from peaks and ravines that he could barely see in the dark. The lights of another car flashed in the distance. After a prolonged silence came the answer, no. The two drivers navigating around a national park. In the dead of the night are Kazakh rangers trying to capture Asiatic wild ass, known locally as kulins. It is a part of the operation to introduce these animals to the steppes of central Kazakhstan, where they disappeared a century ago. Kulins are the zebras of Asia. They used to roam on a massive territory stretching from Syria to Mongolia, but today their populations are fragmented and vulnerable. Kulins in Central Asia are in particular endangered. Although they are a protected species, they are hunted for their meat and their skins in some areas. Due to hunting and habitat conversion, they now inhabit only 3% of the territory where they formerly ranged. Their population in Kazakhstan is now estimated at about 5,000, and almost all of them are in the Alti National Park, in the country's southeast. Now scientists want to relocate a group of healthy animals some 500 km, 932 miles, away from Altinamo to an area known as Altin, Doab, or the Golden Steppe. This is a huge landscape of steppe, which is approximately as big as France, and almost totally devoid of human habitation, explains Dave John Leo, a senior researcher at the Norwegian Institute for Nature Research. Scientists hope that kulins can establish a new population in Altin, Doab, because the Altinamo Park is becoming too crowded for them. Last year the first group of 9 kulins was moved to Altin Doab, but in order to have a sustainable population their scientists need to relocate several dozen more animals. The recent operation to capture the donkey-like animals, however, did not go according to plan. Uzi jeeps crossed the area in search of kulins. The chase always takes place at night, as kulins can easily escape during the daytime. Rangers use a spotlight to guide the animals into an enclosure. Its beam turns into a sort of a fence, which animals are afraid to cross. On the first night, the rangers could not even get close to the animals. The spotlights danced across the steppe as the cars hit holes and bumps in the dark. Frustrated rangers kept shouting to each other on the radio, but all their attempts to hurt the animals were unsuccessful. We did not have enough cars to chase. Albert Slimerlayev, a coordinator at the Association for Conservation of Biodiversity of Kazakhstan, complained. The second problem was the strong wind. It's very difficult to push kulins against the wind. Usually they never go against the wind. Reintroducing an animal to an area is probably the most complex type of conservation project, says Dave Leo. It involves an incredible amount of planning and detail, he says, like building boxes, building the captured equipment, paperwork and permissions. You have to get trucks and airplanes and mud trucks to coordinate. You have to build a bridge, because the bridge collapsed, and all the details have to fall into place on the same day at the same time. And of course the wild animals have to cooperate and the weather has to cooperate, and you can never count on wild animals and weather. And when the BBC joined the mission, the weather certainly did not cooperate. One night it was too windy. The next night it rained, and spotlights became useless. On the third night, it was a bright moon, which defeated the whole point of chasing the animals at night. After 7 frustrating nights of cold, wet and wind, the rangers and scientists had to give up, without having captured any kulins. In any case, the plane that was meant to transport the animals was no longer available. It is a big setback for the reintroduction project, yet the scientists are still determined to continue the work and come back next year. There is one big lesson from this failure, says Chris Walzer, a veterinarian from the Wildlife Conservation Society. This shows how important it is to really conserve wildlife in wild places, as restoring and reintroducing species is really inherently difficult and takes a lot of effort and a lot of funding. So any wildlife place that is out there needs to be preserved as best as possible. A popular tourist attraction has become the latest Chinese company to show solidarity with Huawei's chief finance officer, Meng Wanzhou, who was arrested in Canada on 1 December. Shannon Mountain Scenic Park in eastern Hainan province said it would waive the $9, 65 yuan ticket fee for anyone carrying a Huawei phone. Ms. Meng, who was given bail in Canada, faces extradition to the United States on charges of breaking Iran sanctions. Her case has upped tensions with China. Use Huawei phones. Shoot grand photos on the mountain. A notice on the Shannon Park's social media account said, "We wish friends around the world who support Huawei's success and bliss." The offer would last until 29 December. The South China Morning Post reported, but it was met with some criticism among China's social media users, who claimed it was discriminatory. Huawei phone owners are being offered other enticements too. They can get a 20% discount at a border in Beijing. Seen in Beijing, bring a Huawei phone and get 20% off. Similar to this story we covered yesterday, https://QQXL19YPQLPIC. Twitter.com Sokolov. End of Twitter post by @LuOceanG. At least one firm has threatened to penalize anyone buying Apple products. A few days ago, Manpad Shenzhen-based LED display manufacturer offered subsidies to any employees buying Huawei phones. It also pledged to fine anyone who bought an Apple iPhone. United States prosecutors alleged Ms. Meng
46
used the Huawei subsidiary called Stepp to evade sanctions on Iran between 2009 and 2014. They also alleged she publicly misrepresented Stepp as being a separate company from Huawei, and that she deceived banks about the true relationship between the two companies. Ms. Meng, who is the daughter of Huawei's founder, has denied any wrongdoing and said she will contest the allegations. Life of Huawei's high-flying heiress. The United States has been investigating the Chinese telecoms giant, the world's second-largest smartphone maker, since 2016, believing that it used Stepp to bring United States manufacturing equipment and millions of dollars in transactions to Iran in violation of sanctions. Ms. Meng's detention comes amid an increasingly acrimonious trade dispute between Washington and Beijing. China is angry at her detention, saying she has not violated any laws. Beijing has threatened severe consequences unless Canada releases the executive. Since her arrest, 2 Canadians, a former diplomat and a businessman, have been detained in China on suspicion of harming national security. United States President Donald Trump said last week that he might intervene in the United States Justice Department's case against Ms. Meng if it would serve national security interests. I'll help achieve a trade deal with China if I think it's good for what will be certainly the largest trade deal ever made, which is a very important thing. What's good for national security? I would certainly intervene if I thought it was necessary, he told Reuters news agency. Canada reacted by urging Mr. Trump not to politicize the situation. Our extradition partners should not seek to politicize the extradition process are used for ends other than the pursuit of justice. Foreign Minister Chrystia Freeland said, "A poacher has been ordered to watch the Disney film Bambi repeatedly after he was convicted of illegally killing hundreds of deer." Missouri hunter David Barry, Jr., must view the film at least once a month during his year-long sentence. He was arrested in August along with 2 family members for killing the deer, taking their heads and leaving their bodies to rot. Prosecutors said it is reportedly one of the biggest poaching cases in Missouri history, on top of the jail sentence for the illegal deer hunting. Judge Robert George ordered Barry Jr. to view the Walt Disney movie Bambi